The world we live in is shifting faster than ever, and the inventions leading the charge aren't just cool gadgets. They're rewriting the rules of reality. From AI that can think like us, or maybe even better, to medicine that could make aging optional, we're standing at the edge of a technological revolution. Some of these breakthroughs are already here, quietly reshaping industries. Others are still bubbling in research labs, waiting to explode onto the scene. But one thing is 1,000,000% certain: the way we live, work, and even exist is about to change forever. So buckle up, because these 15 revolutionary inventions aren't just shaping the future. They are the future. Number 15. Xenotransplantation. A pig's heart inside a human might sound like a terrible idea, but it's already happening, and it could be the key to solving the global organ shortage. Xenotransplantation, the process of using animal organs in human patients, has seen major breakthroughs in recent years. Surgeons have successfully transplanted genetically modified pig hearts into human patients. The first recipient lived for 2 months, while a second patient is still under observation. The reason this works? Genetic engineering. Scientists modify pig organs to remove certain immune triggers and add human-compatible genes, making them less likely to be rejected. Right now, the procedure is risky and far from being a mainstream option. But with continued progress, xenotransplants could soon provide a lifeline for thousands of patients waiting for organ donations. It's a medical breakthrough that could rewrite the rules of surgery, though it also raises some deep ethical and scientific questions. The future of transplants? It might not be human at all. Number 14. Necrobotics. Some technologies feel like they were ripped straight out of a horror movie, and necrobotics is definitely one of them. The concept? Taking dead organisms and turning them into functional machines. If that sounds unsettling, well, that's because it absolutely is. But it's also very real. Researchers at Rice University have already proven this is possible by repurposing a dead spider as a robotic gripper. Instead of servos and gears, they simply injected air into the creature, making it move as though it were still alive. Spiders, after all, don't have muscles in their legs like we do. They rely on hydraulic pressure. Right now, this eerie tech is still in its infancy, but the implications are wild. Could necrobotics lead to a future where nature's discarded remains are put to work? Could deceased creatures be repurposed for scientific advancements? The potential is groundbreaking, but let's be honest, it's also just a little too close to the plot of a dystopian sci-fi thriller. Zombies walking on streets? Well, we don't want that. Number 13. Blockchain. If there's one tech buzzword that refuses to fade, it's this. A system so secure that it could revolutionize everything. Banking, healthcare, even elections. No middlemen, no corruption, no loopholes for fraud. Just pure, verifiable transactions running on an incorruptible digital ledger. Theoretically, it's a game changer. In reality, a power struggle waiting to happen. The problem isn't the technology, it works. The problem is that decentralization terrifies the institutions that have built their empires on control. Banks, governments, corporations, none of them are eager to embrace a system that strips away their authority. Sure, they'll dip their toes in, adopting watered-down versions that still keep them in charge, but a full-scale blockchain takeover? Not happening anytime soon. So while blockchain will continue evolving, shaping niche markets and powering underground movements, don't expect it to rewrite the global financial system overnight. The revolution might still be brewing, but those in power aren't about to hand over the keys. Number 12. Sand batteries. Not all futuristic tech is complex. Sometimes the most brilliant solutions are also the simplest. Enter sand batteries. A Finnish engineering team has figured out how to store renewable energy in, well, a giant pile of sand. Here's how it works. A massive steel container is packed with around 100 tons of sand, which is then heated using excess wind and solar energy. That heat can be stored for months and later used to warm buildings when needed. No fancy chemicals, no high-tech alloys, just good old-fashioned sand acting as a low-cost, long-term energy reservoir. The science behind it is called resistive heating, where electrical currents generate heat through friction. It's straightforward, effective, and could play a huge role in making renewable energy more reliable, especially in colder climates. If scaled up, sand batteries could become a key piece of the global energy puzzle, proving that sometimes the simplest ideas have the biggest impact. Number 11. E-skin. Video calls are great, but let's be honest, they don't replace human touch. No one's ever been comforted by a FaceTime hug. But that could soon change thanks to e-skin. Engineers at the City University of Hong Kong have developed a wireless, touch-sensitive material that mimics human skin. It's equipped with flexible actuators that sense motion and convert it into electrical signals. Those signals can then be transmitted to another e-skin system, where they're translated into physical vibrations. In other words, a hug in one place could be felt in another. The potential applications are huge. Imagine long-distance couples being able to hold hands, families bridging the physical gap between them, or even medical professionals performing remote physical therapy. While the technology is still in its early stages, one thing is clear. The future of digital communication won't just be something you see and hear, it'll be something you feel. Number 10. Smelly VR. Virtual reality lets you see and hear digital worlds, but what if you could smell them too? Researchers at the City University of Hong Kong have invented a wireless, skin-interfaced olfactory system, basically a VR attachment that simulates scents. The system works by heating and melting scented wax, releasing specific aromas that match the virtual environment. Two versions exist, one that clips under the nose and another that's built into a face mask with hundreds of possible scent combinations. Why does this matter? Think beyond GTA. This tech could revolutionize online learning, medical training, and even marketing. Imagine experiencing a history lesson with the smells of ancient Rome, or watching a 4D movie where you can actually smell the food on screen. The possibilities are endless, though let's hope developers use their power wisely. No one needs a hyper-realistic simulation of a sewer level. What do you say? Number 9. Catapulting satellites. Rockets are pretty expensive, complex, and rely on enormous amounts of fuel. But what if we could throw satellites into orbit instead? That's exactly what Spin Launch is working on. A revolutionary system that uses kinetic energy instead of traditional rocket propulsion. The concept is as wild as it sounds. A massive centrifuge spins payloads at hypersonic speeds, up to 8,000 kilometers per hour, before launching them through a long tube toward the sky. A small rocket engine kicks in later to fine-tune the trajectory, but the majority of the heavy lifting is done without fuel. The benefits? A 70% reduction in fuel use and infrastructure costs, making satellite deployment cheaper and more sustainable. NASA has already signed on to test this technology, and if it works at scale, the future of space launches might look a whole lot different. Fewer giant explosions and more high-tech slingshots. And in reality, it's better than sending humans or monkeys into space. Number 8. Cryptocurrency. A technology built to disrupt finance, yet somehow best known for get-rich-quick schemes, market crashes, and NFTs of pixelated monkeys. Cryptocurrency was supposed to offer freedom, money without banks, transactions without borders, wealth without restrictions. Instead, it became a digital roller coaster, fueled by speculation and crushed by instability. The problem is baked into its DNA. Unlike gold, crypto isn't tethered to anything tangible. Its value rises and falls on collective belief alone, making it the financial equivalent of a high-stakes poker game. One moment it's the future, the next, it's a cautionary tale. And those who do want it to succeed Tech visionaries, early adopters, and certain eccentric billionaires face an opponent too powerful to ignore: government regulation. Authorities don't like money they can't control, and every move toward mainstream adoption is met with crackdowns and restrictions. So while cryptocurrency isn't vanishing, it's also not toppling traditional finance. It'll remain exactly what it is: an idea too powerful to kill, yet too unpredictable to rule the world. Number 7. Quantum computing. For half a century, scientists have promised that quantum computing would change the world. Every few years, another headline claims the breakthrough is finally here. But is it? In 2019, Google announced that its quantum computer had achieved quantum supremacy, solving a problem in 3 minutes that would take a traditional supercomputer 10,000 years. IBM, not one to be left in the dust, quickly fired back, claiming a conventional system could do it in just 2.5 days. The debate aside, quantum computers, which use qubits instead of traditional bits, hold immense potential. These machines can process massive amounts of data simultaneously, making them invaluable for fields like pharmaceutical research, materials science, and even AI. However, there's a dark side. Quantum computers could, in theory, crack today's most secure encryption, potentially rendering blockchain technology useless overnight. The race to develop and control quantum supremacy isn't just about technological advancement. It's a power struggle. And in a world increasingly dependent on cybersecurity, that's a game changer. Number 6. Genetic predictions. Picture a world where your DNA could predict your future, your likelihood of developing heart disease, cancer, or even how well you'll respond to medication. It sounds like science fiction, but with today's computing power, it's edging closer to reality. By analyzing genetic markers, scientists can identify risks long before symptoms appear. This could lead to ultra-personalized healthcare, more frequent screenings for those at higher risk, tailored treatments that match your body's exact needs, and even lifestyle adjustments designed to prevent diseases before they start. The catch? Genetic predictions open the door to ethical nightmares. Who gets access to this data? Could insurance companies use it to hike up premiums? Could employers screen candidates based on potential future health risks? And let's not even get started on the parallels to Gattaca. Science might be giving us a roadmap to our own futures, but whether we want to read it or let others read it for us is another question entirely. Now, let's talk about Number 5. Brain-reading robots. Mind-controlled machines are no longer just a cyberpunk fantasy. Researchers at the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology Lausanne have created a system where a brain-computer interface allows a robot arm to adjust in real time based on human thoughts. The technology works through an EEG cap that detects brain activity, feeding signals into a machine learning algorithm. If the robotic arm moves incorrectly, say, veering too close to an obstacle, the system learns from the user's brain signals and adjusts automatically. The potential here is massive. For tetraplegic patients, this tech could revolutionize mobility, leading to brain-controlled wheelchairs, prosthetics, and even entire robotic assistants. Over time, as the AI learns an individual's preferences, control could become seamless. No buttons, no joysticks, just pure thought guiding the machine. The gap between humans and machines is shrinking, and this is just the beginning. Number 4. 3D printed bones. 3D printing has already shaken up industries from manufacturing to aerospace, but now it's making its way into human bodies. A company called Ossiform is pioneering the creation of 3D printed bones designed to replace damaged or missing skeletal structures with near-perfect replicas. The secret? Tricalcium phosphate, a material that mimics human bones so well that the body eventually absorbs and replaces it with real bone tissue. The process is surprisingly straightforward. A patient gets an MRI, the data is sent to Ossiform, a custom implant is printed, and then it's surgically inserted. The porous structure allows natural bone cells to attach, grow, and restore full function. This technology could mean fewer complications, faster recovery times, and even the potential for personalized skeletal enhancements. It's a glimpse into a future where our bones aren't just fixed, they're upgraded. Well, now anyone can jump from Mount Everest without parachutes. Number 3. Meatless meat. The taste, texture, and smell of real meat without the environmental impact, antibiotics, or, slaughtering animals. Lab-grown meat is no longer just an experiment. It's a billion-dollar industry poised to disrupt the way the world eats. Unlike plant-based alternatives, cultured meat is created by growing animal cells in a lab, replicating the muscle tissue of real meat without ever raising or killing an animal. The environmental benefits are staggering. Fewer greenhouse gas emissions, drastically reduced water and land use, and no need for factory farming. By 2030, it's predicted that at least 10% of the meat consumed worldwide will come from a lab. Whether it gains mass adoption depends on scaling production, lowering costs, and, perhaps most importantly, convincing skeptics that their steak wasn't brewed in a petri dish. Well, we don't like this idea. We mean, how can you even know what you're really eating? It's creepy. Number 2. Energy-storing bricks. What if your house didn't just use electricity, but stored it too? Scientists at Washington University in St. Louis have found a way to turn ordinary red bricks into energy storage devices, essentially turning buildings into giant batteries. The process involves coating bricks with a special conducting polymer which seeps into their porous structure and transforms them into supercapacitors. These smart bricks can store electricity, be recharged thousands of times within an hour, and hold enough energy to power small devices. While the technology is still in its early stages, the implications are massive. Imagine a future where homes, offices, and entire cities store their own renewable energy, reducing reliance on external power grids. The walls around you might soon do a lot more than just hold up the ceiling. Will you invest in them? Number 1. Self-healing concrete. Concrete is the backbone of modern civilization, but it cracks, degrades, and requires constant maintenance. Researchers at the University of Colorado Boulder have developed living concrete, a self-healing material made from sand, bacteria, and gel. This bioengineered material can regenerate cracks, absorb harmful toxins, and even glow on command. Unlike traditional concrete, which deteriorates over time, this new version can repair itself by fostering bacterial growth that mineralizes within the structure. Beyond durability, this technology could revolutionize construction sustainability. With concrete being the second most consumed material on Earth, after water, shifting to self-repairing versions could drastically cut waste, reduce emissions, and even pave the way for adaptive, futuristic architecture. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.